So ladies and gentlemen, fight number 3 this evening is an amateur featherweight bout which will be contested over 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 66.2 kilos and trains out of Triune MMA. Tonight he makes his MMA debut. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jake Land. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 65.4 kilos and trains out of Shindo New Breed MMA, holding an amateur MMA record of 1 win for 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Shady Arik Hasset. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Garth Harriman.
In the centre, please.
Once again, Garth Harriman in charge of this bout. 3 3-minute rounds, amateur featherweight division. Arik Hasset in the red, Jake Land in the blue corner. Round 1, here we go. And Jake looking for a hard and fast start here. He doesn't want to let Arik get anything off.
Immediately lands that straight left.
Let go of his shorts, mate.
Clinches with Arik on the cage here. Just trying to establish a little bit of control. Both in that 50-50 position. Jake with good control here, up against the cage, as Arik turns him straight away.
The old commentator's curse. Nonetheless, he does a good job of gaining position once again.
It's interesting to see the different grips here as Jake's using the Gable grip to control and Arik's sticking with the S grip or the wrestler's grip there. Jake being very, very effective with his Gable grip there, just keeping pressure on Arik as he kicks as they separate off the cage. Both guys with great range, T, so the stand-up battle should be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, Benny. And we've seen Arik in action, Arik in action before. He lands a nice flying knee. Wow. Well, you called it, Benny. Great range control, and Arik doing a good job. That one from where he was sitting looked like it landed clean.
Yeah, both guys, 18 years old, looking very well versed for amateurs already. Starting MMA at such a young age. These guys have such a long career ahead of them if they decide to stick with the game.
Absolutely, Benny. And as you said, the youth that we are seeing rise in the sport of MMA in Australia is fantastic. And both these guys,
careful, no knees to the head.
Getting their careers started off early.
Time. Stay there, over this way.
Garth Harriman breaking us here. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is an amateur bout. You are unable to knee to the head. Just a firm and stern warning from Garth Harriman to Arik Hasset. They touch him up and we are back into the action. This fight proudly brought to you by our sponsors at Fresh Ink. If you are looking at getting teed up from the feet up, get down to Fresh Ink. One of the representatives of Fresh Ink will be fighting in the cage tonight. Josh Kuhn looking to make his 3rd appearance inside the cage, coming off a win over Josh Benson at our last show in Eternal. Here at the Southport Shark Sports Club, get down to Fresh Ink. Arik Hasset finding his range. Jake Land looking for his. Ooh, that one hurt him, Benny, straight right.
Good recovery there from Land.
10 seconds left. Can Jake survive?
Jake looking a little bit gassed towards the end of this round.
Yeah, fantastic round for Arik. Round 2 coming up. Garth Harriman says, let's go. It's an Aaron Nathan cage side once again with Ben Alloway. And Hasset, he's very long, Benny, and that's proving problems for Jake unless he can get in tight as he does so there.
Yeah, so far definitely Jake's having much more success in here in the clinch. Arik is starting to be a bit of a problem for Jake at range thus far. Good knees to the body.
Yeah, that one looked like it may have hurt him. Hasset looking very, very loose and relaxed. Jake Land looking to find his range. He has landed a few shots of his own as he lands a nice body kick there. And Benny, we're seeing more of this, aren't we? The grapple up against the cage. Such a underappreciated technique in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, we know it definitely takes it out of you to be clinching up here against the cage. We've both done a little bit of training in the gym, and you know, sometimes the crowd doesn't understand how much gas it actually takes out of you being in these clinches. But Arik's, you know, Hasset's still mounting a bit of offense from a defensive position here. We haven't really seen any takedown attempts thus far.
Careful, don't grab the fence.
We know this clinching game can play a bit of a confusing part if the fight does go to decision.
Indeed it can.
Fingers out of the cage.
Well, like you said, Benny Alloway, it's not entertaining, but it definitely is taxing. And both guys putting in their hard yards here in the second round as we approach the final 30 seconds. We're separating. Arik Hasset wants to keep the fight here. Land doing a good job getting out of the way.
Yeah, Hasset getting a little bit more creative now on his feet.
Got to be careful. Ten seconds left in round number 2. And you'd have to think, Ben,
Time.
the momentum staying with Hasset so far. Jake Land still in this fight. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Eternal 52.
Go.
Our third fight of the evening. Jake Land coming out with a bang. And we find ourselves in quite a familiar position up against the cage, and you'd have to think, Benny, Jake Land has to get to work here and possibly look for a finish.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what his intent is running into the clinch for it, as he hasn't really tried to take Hasset down. Now he's starting to look for the takedown as Hasset gets his fingers caught up in the fence.
And look, both guys very young, but very experienced, as their coaches would say. Brett Jacobson in the corner of Jake Land. Kerry Dunn coaching from the red corner for Arik Hasset. And as the first minute of round 3 counts down.
Landing deep on a high crotch. Trying to lift Hasset up. You see great defense there, just sagging
See some progression, guys.
at the same
See some
time that
progression.
Land was trying to raise him off the ground.
Stop. Break, boys. Break.
Garth Harriman says that's enough. Let's bring him center cage and we'll start again. Now look for Arik to really open up here as they count down the last half of the round. Jake Land looking for something special, Benny.
Ooh,
That
and
may
he
be
gets
it.
it. He may get what he was looking for.
Now if Jake can work from here, we don't necessarily know how the scorecards look. You'd have to think round 1 to Hasset, round 2. Not too much given away, but round 3, if Jake Land can work something here, we could see a tough decision for our judges' cage side.
Land's got to be careful in the guard here of Hasset. So he goes in for that guillotine. Looks like he's got a decent grip on that arm in guillotine there.
Well, Jake Land is grimacing. Could Arik Hasset finish it here?
He's just cutting a bit of his leverage off by triangling his legs like that around the back of Jake Land.
Yeah, great observation, Benny. And as no one could have said it better, he does pop out of that guillotine.
Yeah, he's got 20 seconds to get some damage in, but
seconds down.
Just being wrapped up into the triangle. He could get the finish here if he gets the technique correct.
Well, he does survive, does Jake Land. Arik Hasset, you'd have to think, may have done enough on the scorecards as he raises his arms.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 of our judges score the contest 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, Shady Arik Hasset. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with our winner, Shady Arik Hasset. And Arik, fantastic fight there, back and forth for 3 rounds. Give me your thoughts on what just went down.
Great fight, great opponent. Not much else I can say.
Well, not much else to say, I guess. Took all 3 rounds on each judge's scorecards. So, were you worried at all when I started reading the decision?
Not really. I knew I had to get the job done, so I did it.
And before I let you go, Arik, of course, only 18 years of age, and that was your 3rd fight inside the cage. 2-1 now as an amateur, just 18 years old. What can we expect in the future from Shady Arik?
A lot more fighting, a lot more events. You'll be seeing a lot more of me.
Well, I can't wait to do it, young man. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for your winner, Shady Arik Hasset.